Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So it is January, most of the snow has melted, but it is still very cold. Anyway, I have had 3 rescues for quite a long time. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you might know them. One of them is right behind me right now. But those rescues are Dixie, who is that cute little paint there, Ranger, my Marwari, and Sapphire, my Percheron. So I purchased them at an auction about 10 months ago, and I'd always planned to sell them off as project horses, and now is the long-awaited day where I will be selling them. So the other day I was sitting in my barn, probably making feed, when I realized who would be more interested in buying one of my horses than the people who've been watching their stories since the beginning. So I will show you their sale ads today, and if you find one of them interesting and think you could give them a good home at your barn, you can fill out the purchase form in the description below, and maybe it'll get accepted, and you can bring one of these cuties home with you. So the first horse I wanted to show you guys is Ranger. Ranger is my Marwari cross. We aren't entirely sure what breed he is, but that's the best estimate we've gotten. He is 15.1 hands when I last measured him, but I don't think he's going to be growing any bigger. He is 14 years old according to our age estimate, so a little on the older side, but he can definitely still get into some shows before he needs to be retired. So in Ranger's training we mostly focused on English riding, but I'm sure you could train him to do some Western if you're willing to put in the effort. But mostly we did English and jumping. As you can see here, he does pretty good at free jumping, except he can get a little excited and just try to throw himself at the jumps, as you can see here. He is very good at long reining, which is an exercise that I've done with him often, so if that's something that you like to do with your horses, he is also very good at that. I've also done a lot of pull work with him, and he has done pretty good, I'd say. He's a nice balanced horse, and I'm sure you could get him into some equitation shows if that's what you're into. He really could be taken any direction since he still does have a few good years on him, and he is a pretty quick learner. I don't know exactly where he came from. I just got him at an auction without papers. He still doesn't have papers, so if you want to register him, that's going to be something that you have to pay for. He picks up all 4 feet very easily. He's usually pretty nice. He has pretty good ground manners. When I bought him at the auction, he also knew some liberty tricks, so if you bow to him, he will do a very fancy bow back. So if you do liberty shows, Ranger might be a good choice for you. He doesn't really have any problems per se, except sometimes if you make him mad, he will literally try to fling you off of him. Which hasn't happened much in the past few months I've had him, but just a warning, it can happen, and I want to be transparent with you guys. So yeah, again, he does not have papers, so we don't know exactly how old he is. 14 is just our best estimate, and he is unregistered. All of the horses in this video are, so you would have to pay for their registering if you would like to register them. So next up is Dixie. If we have any Western riders looking for a horse, Dixie would definitely be the one you'd want to get. She is very nice, very easy to ride, although I would probably recommend her to a rider who has a bit more experience. She's really not going to be the best with kids, and I definitely think that she'd be better in more of a showing environment. I will say she would probably do really good at reining. She does have a nice sliding stop, as you can see there. Which, advantage and disadvantage, you gotta be prepared for that, because if you try to stop her quickly, that's what she does. She's a very sweet horse, and her ground manners are also really good. She does best in a bit from what I've seen, but you could probably ride her in a hack more. It would probably be fine. I've mostly been working on Western stuff, like speed events with her. She is very good at barrels, but I'm sure you could just train her to do like whatever you want. I believe I have also done some pole work with her, which she was also great at. So if you guys like play days, or you just do like exclusively barrels or poles or whatever, then I think Dixie would be a great candidate. Another thing on the reining side, she can also do the little spinny thing. I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. I don't do reining. This is not my business. But here's her doing poles. As you can see, she is very good. She's a really versatile horse when it comes to Western riding. I really don't think she could do English, honestly. It's just not what she was trained to do. But you know, if you want to try, then I will applaud your effort. I really don't think there's anything she's bad about, per se. I mean, there's always the risk with every horse that there's not going to be perfect, but she's really good overall. And the final horse of the day is Sapphire. She is a Percheron from what I've figured out. I believe she might be purebred, or at least close to that. I haven't fully had her looked at, but that's what my vet said. She is by far the tallest out of all of them. She is 17.2 hands, and she's 16 years old, just like Dixie. If you're looking for a lesson horse, I'm sure she could handle some beginner or intermediate riders. She does get a little spooky at times. She's one of those mares. But overall, she has really good ground manners, and she's good around kids from what I've seen. One thing I will warn you about is she has had a bit of a history of dietary issues. So she does require a specific diet. She needs a bit more fiber and some specific blends of food. Personally, I've been using a lot of food from Golden Grove Feed Store, if you know about them. I've mentioned them a few times. Those tend to work for her, but I'm sure some other brands probably have something else that'd be good for her. She's only ever been trained in dressage, so that's basically all I know that she could do, but you're welcome to try anything else with her. Although you can't ride her bareback. I've tried and she just hates it. Alright everyone, well thank you for watching, and if you're interested in buying any of these 3 horses, you can fill out the Google form in the description, and I'll also put it in a pinned comment. Also, real quick, this does not involve real money. This is all in roleplay, so you are required to have a YouTube channel or an Instagram if you want to apply for one of these horses. And I believe that's all the information I need. There are a few rules and regulations and whatever that I'd like you to read on the Google form, so please look at that. Anyway, have a very good weekend or weekday whenever you're watching this, and I will see you later. Bye-bye!